What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first episode of our Huddersfield Town career mode here on FIFA 18. That is right, not FIFA 17 like I very nearly said. We're into FIFA 18, guys. I'm going to answer a couple of questions as well before we get into the first episode of our career mode here. The first one I'm sure you guys are going to be asking is, how on earth have I got my hands on FIFA 18? Well, Xbox, you can have early access, which gives you 10 hours of gameplay, guys. And you can use that 10 hours whichever way you wish. Ultimate Team, Journey, Career Mode, whatever it is you wish to do. You can use the 10 hours for that one. So that is how I have my hands on the full release of the game. Bear in mind, guys, I only have it for 10 hours. So what you're likely to see in these videos won't be rushed content, but there'll be certain aspects of it where I've had to kind of, I guess, go through it a little bit quicker. For example, the cutscenes you're about to see in today's episode as well regarding the new transfer system. I had to kind of skip a couple of them to avoid using a lot of the time just watching the cutscenes and stuff. If I was playing the Journey, that's what it's about. I'd watch the cutscenes, but for the purpose of the video, I had to skip it a couple of times. So today's first episode, guys, I'm going to kick off with kind of explaining a couple of stuff and just basically giving you guys a rundown on what's new on career mode, what's added to the game this year and stuff like that. Now, bear in mind, guys, of course, if you didn't get the chance to vote on the poll, it is now closed, of course, and the team that won that, if you missed it, it was like a video I explained my FIFA 18 ideas and stuff, and you could vote on the team we pick for career mode. Then, if you missed it, I apologize. The team that won were Huddersfield. They won by quite a commanding victory. I think 134 votes in total. The second one was Brighton on 80-something. So, all in all, Huddersfield Town were the team that won. And bear in mind as well, I'm assuming a lot of other YouTubers are going to do Huddersfield Town career modes, but at the end of the day, guys, everybody's is going to be different. So, if you don't want to watch mine, I fully appreciate that. If you want to go and check out somebody else's, like Docklanders, for example, it looks as if he's going to be doing a Huddersfield Town career mode as well, then go ahead and do that. You know, I'm not going to have anything against you guys for that, but please bear in mind that comments like other YouTubers are doing this, what's the point in picking Huddersfield? It's irrelevant. Huddersfield won the vote, so that's the team we go with. Just to clear that up, I guess, in that aspect of it. But, guys, for this first episode, as I said, I'm going to go through, explain the new system and how it all works. So, as you saw there, of course, briefly, we bought a new Scout Future Star. That all works the same way. It wasn't any different to how it used to work in FIFA 17. The training system's exactly the same, except there's a different in kind of the names of the drills and stuff. But this is where the difference comes now to buying players. So, I came into this with a mindset. I knew what players I wanted to bring into this Huddersfield Town side. I would have given you guys like a kind of a video to give me some suggestions, but that's going to come later. So basically, the way you do it, guys, you have to search for your player that you want to buy. Then you have to shortlist them. And then once that's done, you go back out of the search engine onto the main page, and there's a bit called Transfers Hub. You click on that, it allows you to then negotiate a fee. You'll be brought into a cutscene like this, for example, and unfortunately I didn't do a very good job on this first one, because as soon as I went into it, I must have wound up Slaven Bilic, because as soon as I said I want Antonio for 10 million over to Huddersfield, he got up and was like, hell no. I feel like he's wasting my trip here. We don't entertain such a De Rossi offer or something like that. Can't remember. Well, you guys saw what was on the screen anyway, guys. If it popped up a little bit quick, I apologize. But as I said, I had to skip through it a little bit quicker because I didn't want to use all of my 10 hours just on cutscenes alone. So, no Antonio for us, sadly, even though he was my priority of the highest priority on my list. Simply because he's pretty good in this year's game as like a starter kind of striker type thing. So then I went and looked at two other players. The first one being Smolov. I hope I got his name right. Smolov, that's it. And also Acquire, but again, I hope I got his name right, because it could be a bad situation if I got them both wrong. So, the reason I chose these two, the first one, of course, Acquire is what I go for first here. He plays at Torino, I think, and I'd actually seen him on Foothead earlier on the day in a squad that looked pretty good. It was like a full silver team. So, I knew what his overall rating was. I knew he was 25 years of age, and it kind of reminded me of like a cheap beast in the form of Kante, for example. So, that's what I had in mind when I was making this signing here. I looked at my Huddersfield team. I looked at the team we've got. Bearing in mind as well, guys, we'll be playing all of the games on Legendary, and you will see at least one game in today's episode, actual gameplay footage for you guys to check out as well. So I kind of looked at it and I was like, I need to strengthen my team. But what areas do I need to strengthen most? So I had this mindset that I was going to play a 4-4-2. So I thought I need to bring in a solid centre midfielder to partner Aaron Moy, and then I need to bring in a striker to bang in the goals, because that's going to be, I guess, where I'm going to need to be able to do this season. For me, personally, I was never good at defending in FIFA 17. And when FIFA 18 came around, I played a lot of the demo. I never got to grips with that defending either. I was winning games, but only by outscoring my opponents. So I decided my most important thing was to get myself a new centre midfielder and get myself a striker who could put the ball in the back of the net. and that's exactly what I went and did here. So the first one we go for, as I said, was acquire, and you can see what happens is you have your, I guess, negotiations with their manager. You either get the deal accepted or rejected. If the deal is accepted, you can then discuss a contract with the player and his agent. So they'll then meet you in the office, this is kind of the cutscene. I'm sure you guys will have seen these by now. They've been out for quite a while. They were on the beta as well. But the one thing to know, I don't think you could skip them on the beta. So in that aspect of it, I'm pretty sure you had to watch them on the beta and you couldn't hold to skip. So yeah, there is that bonus this time around. You can skip them, meaning they go a little bit quicker in terms of negotiating the contract and stuff. So that's one thing that I like they've added. So, of course, this first transfer here, acquire, I think it was 7.7 million, and then whatever I was going to give him the contract. So, as you can see, as I'm going through negotiating the contract for the player, I said to you guys previously, it does add a nice little bit to the game, but my only worry is that this is going to get very, very boring very quickly. You know, after the first couple of times, the novelty is going to wear off. You're going to get to the point where you're like, I can't really bother sitting through an entire press conference or negotiation, just to sign a player. So, as much as I like this new system, I have to admit, I've got a feeling the novelty is going to kind of wear off at some stage. And I don't know how long it's going to keep that with me. At the moment, I think it's cool. It's nice to have. But, as I said, after a while, it's going to get boring. So, as we make our first transfer signing of this series here, Acquire becomes our first player. Let me know if I am saying it wrong in the comments, by the way, guys. I apologize if I am in advance. And then, we went in for Smolov. Now, this one is going to be like a marquee transfer. He's 80 rated, is Smolov, when we come into the game. Of course, last year he did have a Squad Builder Challenge card on Ultimate Team. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did. So again, I met with his manager, and this one is going to be kind of the one that breaks the bank. So we've already spent 7.7 on Acquire, and that took us down to 31.2. And originally I was looking at this thinking 14.5, I would happily take that. So when I went in with 14.5, and they came back and said 16.6, I was like, oh my goodness me, hell yeah, I'll take that deal every single day of the week, because I was honestly expecting them to come in with something crazy like 22, 23 million. So to see 16.6, I was happy to pay that. He's still 27 years of age as well, so, you know, his age is on his side as well, I guess, so we don't have to really worry about that. So all in all, I was pretty happy to get this deal done. So when I called him into the office, we had the meeting with his manager and his agent. He wanted this crucial squad role, which, to be fair, is something that he probably will be playing this season. If he does come into the team, he will be our best attacker by 4 overalls. Of course, Meunier is the best at the moment currently at the club. And then, of course, if Smolov comes in, he will become the best. So I kind of wanted to get him in ASAP, really. But the problem was, I came in to do this transfer. Originally, I was going to give him a 4-year contract. I was thinking 31. That's kind of the age where I would be thinking, you know, we probably need to be getting rid of him. But then he said he wanted 2 years. So obviously not willing to commit his future to the club, which is understandable, but at the same time kind of annoying. But I decided to go ahead anyways, give him a 2-year deal. And in the end, we weren't really bothered. He wanted 70 grand a week, which I was kind of thinking at the time. 65 was what I was prepared to offer him. So it wasn't too bad and wasn't too far away from what I was kind of thinking. So I accepted the deal. Becomes our second signing now of this window, and it takes our spend over that £20 million mark. So you'll see them both come into the team now, and we'll check out their in-game stats in just a moment's time. So there is Acquire going straight into the club, or into the team, sorry. Smolov, if you want to check out his stats in any more detail, just pause it on whichever bit you guys want to check out. It's pretty good, actually. In all honesty, he's got decent pace and also decent finishing as well. On the other hand, Acquire, very solid choice for that centre midfield spot. Will hold it down and do a good job, I think, in the Premier League this season as like a, I guess, cheap beast for us. And then, of course, when we get some more money, pre-contracts and stuff, we can improve the team based on that. But I don't know, guys, how this is going to go, because I'm playing it on Legendary right now. And let's just say this. The game you see in today's episode, it's an interesting game at that. I don't know if it's just the one game I played, but the one game I did play, I will say about the AI, this year they are very, very good at putting away their chances. So I don't know whether or not I should be looking at this season as kind of like a building block and just really getting used to the game and kind of thinking to myself, okay, if we escape relegation, that's the best thing for us to do. Or if I should be looking at this season and saying, you know, top half of the table. That's what I want. Because if you remember back, excuse me, we'd actually played with Leeds in FIFA 17, of course. And when we did that series, we got up through the playoffs. And then the season after we got up to the Premier League, we finished 8th. So I'm kind of looking at it in a similar way here to Huddersfield and thinking that maybe I should be aiming for like a 10th or 11th. But truthfully, I think it's going to be quite a struggle to try and stay up this season. Not because of the team, just because getting used to the new game, playing on Legendary. Of course, last year I started on World Class. I don't want to bump it down to World Class simply because I want to challenge myself and give myself the biggest challenge possible. So I guess keeping on Legendary is going to be quite interesting, to say the least. So we may end up with a situation where we get slapped in a fair few games this season. So it'd be quite funny to see, but at the same time, quite demoralizing. So as we're going through the preseason tour here, I decided I wasn't going to play any of the group stage games, but I did say if we got through, I was going to play the semi-final and then potentially the final if we got through to that. So although I'm not playing in the group stage ones, I felt quite comfortable we get through the group stage without me having to play it anyway. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts. And then I went out, picked up a scout as well because, of course, we want to be doing this for the long haul. We want to get our team in. We want to get the youth players into the team as best we can. And then there was one chance or another signing here coming into the team, potentially Rob Holding from Arsenal, of course. I went for this one because I wanted a centre-back, but I wanted one that had potential rather than current ability. So out of everybody I kind of thought of, I was kind of working on a very limited kind of resources at this stage. My brain wasn't working too great. It was quite late at night, and so I just decided Rob Holding, why not check him out, really? And then, of course, I know he has a good potential. So 6 million, I think, was the deal we agreed with Arsene Wenger there. You saw me very briefly at a meeting with him. This one's a little bit more sped up because you guys have already seen it with the other true transfers that we've had. And then we met with Rob Holding, offered him a contract. He accepts the contract, becomes my third signing of the window. And that is pretty much, I think, where we're going to leave the signings off for the first transfer window. The only reason I say that is because I don't plan on letting anybody go from this Huddersfield team. And I think the three areas that we've strengthened in the form of Acquire, Smolov, and now Rob Holding when he comes into the team, for me, I think we've done a decent little bit of business there. I think this team is good enough to keep me in the Premier League, and then, of course, I can build on it next year and with the pre-contracts and stuff. So, in my opinion, I feel as though the business we've done, it's good business. We've got a striker who can bang them in for fun, and I'm sure will take us up to that next level. We've got a midfielder who can run the show with Aaron Moy in that position. And then, of course, a very good future centre-back in Rob Holding, who, at the moment, actually, is as good as Schindler. So it's going to be interesting to see which one I want to go with in that position there at centre-back. So at the moment, I'm going to go with Schindler and Jorgensen. And I'm not going to play Rob Holding just yet. But if I feel as though Rob Holding's ready to come into the team, I will play Rob Holding. Of course, he's going to go into the training system. We'll start upgrading his overall and stuff. And hopefully, he'll become an absolute beast for us. So now, guys, we're going to get into some gameplay. And as I said to you earlier, just prepare yourself for some beatings this year. I was checking out the settings and stuff, making sure everything was okay. Just basically because I wasn't sure. And then I saw it was on fast here. So I went back in to switch it down to normal. But then last second decided, no, I'm going to leave it on fast gameplay. So we are going to be trying it out on fast. Maybe I should have done, well, I guess move it down to normal. The only difference is I can't really play kickoff to get used to the game. Because, of course, having 10 hours, I don't want to waste my time playing kickoff and then have no time to actually get videos made. So it's going to be kind of me testing stuff out, testing the waters, and just basically getting used to the game firstly. So these first couple of episodes, be prepared for me to get smashed by teams, guys. That's all I'm going to say. So semi-finals of the preseason tour here. We are taking on Getafe, of course, the Spanish club in this one. I think we had a couple of debutants as well playing for me. Quire was in there, Smolov in there. I think Rob Holding may have even started this one as well. So all three of our new players actually starting the game, and it was us actually with the first chance. A nice move. Aaron Moy back to Acquire, gives it to Smith. Smith to Smolov. Smolov into Kachunga, and then he hits a great cross towards the black stick where Tom Ince is not known for his heading capability, but he gets us off with our first goal of the series with a header at the back post. And let me just say this. Crossing seems OP in this year's game. I have no idea why, but it feels so good when you whip a cross in and win it at the back stick. And it feels like the, I guess, momentum is with the attacking team on every single header. I don't know why. Just whenever the opponents are attacking against me, I don't ever seem to be able to win it in my penalty area. And it's vice versa. Whenever I'm whipping a cross in and going up the other end, it feels as though they don't defend very well against crosses this year. And it feels like you can't defend against them very well this year. But it wasn't all guns or plain sailing for us. Because you can see, I have no idea how that went in. Honestly, at the time, I was like, that's just unbelievable. I have to give major credit, though, right? It was a good finish, but take a look what happened, guys. If you move back to the replay, I tried to switch to the guy there that went to block the ball. I think it was Kachunga in the end, and I just couldn't switch to him in time, and that's why it was 1-1. And then, I guess, I've realised you can't really defend the same way that I was trying to defend back in FIFA 17. If you know me and you've watched my series before, You know I like to get in the face of my opponents, apply the pressure, and really get the pressing on. But this year's game, I feel like you get kind of, I don't want to say, what's the word? Well, you kind of get, I guess, punished for it. But at the same time, if you're good enough to do it, you can kind of time it right. But I was trying to work it out and get my timings on point. I just could not do it. And then, yeah, I ended up getting smashed, guys. 3-1 defeat. Truthfully, I said it's going to take me a bit of time to get used to the game. Having said that, when you take a look at the match facts after the game, guys, I actually was dominating the game. I felt good. I felt we were playing pretty good FIFA. And yet I went on to lose 3-1. So that's one thing I can say. From this first game I've played, it feels like the AI punish you more for mistakes in defending, and also they seem to be a bit more clinical. I don't know what it is, but they certainly seem more clinical. As you can see, their match facts, they had 4 shots on target and scored 3. I had 8, 5 on target, only scored once. So it does feel as though the AI this year might be that little bit more clinical, and so you can't give them too many chances. Otherwise, you might be in for a bad day at the office. So already our first defeat of the series. It's only taken us into our first game, and we've already lost the game. I was expecting that, though, guys, if I'm being honest with you. I wasn't expecting to win. But at the same time, 3-1 defeat is not where I wanted to start this series off. We got absolutely battered, having started the game off pretty well. And I felt like we were doing pretty well as well. So I can't really complain at that aspect of it. I felt like I was playing good, just didn't get the results. So anyways, we've got a new player into the team. As I said, I bought a scout future star, and there he was. You'll see it in more detail in a moment as we do check him out in the actual team. So you can check out his, I guess, attributes and his skill moves and weak foot. I think he's got a decent weak foot, actually, so not too bad for a cam. But that is where we're going to end today's episode off, guys. If you have enjoyed it, a like rate we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support over the channel in the last year. Hopefully it's good for you as well in FIFA 18. Episode 1 already done, guys. 4 PM tomorrow, you get episode 2 as well. I'll catch you all for it then. Adios.